It is 8:45, coming to Muskegon later this month, a softball tournament with a much bigger mission. Jess's Cancer Crushers is expanding into Michigan, and all of this to help raise money for children battling cancer. Joining us live is Jess Hewlett this morning. We appreciate your time, Jess. Thank you so much for coming down here to Grand Rapids to talk to us this morning. First off, let's talk about this organization. How did Jess's Cancer Crushers get started here?
So I played softball competitively nationally. I became sick with cancer, and I passed a gene on to two of my children out of four. And so when I sat in the hospital at Mayo, met a couple of kids that were really struggling, didn't have much. And so what started with me playing softball over turned into an opportunity to give back to all the kids immediately. So
absolutely, turning something so detrimental to a family and making it more of a positive experience, that's wonderful.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about how this whole process works?
So I pick a destination, such as Michigan.
Okay.
Some good friends of mine that I've met along the way decided that, hey, you need to have one up in Michigan. I was like, okay, cool, I've never played there. So we set up a draft. They log on to my website, sign up, pay. And then, we draft teams.
Oh, yeah, and then the teams, talk about that process. Don't you guys kind of adopt a child throughout all of this, and then that's how the money gets raised? Explain that whole process.
Yes. So I sponsor, as of right now, there's 22 kids total.
Okay.
So every penny that we earn, that I make, goes directly to those families.
Wow.
So they can go do anything they want. And each team plays for a child. I happen to have a handprint shirt on, but each of the kids has a color for their cancer.
Wow.
And they get to design, 3 things about that they love as far as that goes for their jersey.
That is so cool. I've been looking at your shirt.
I know. I'm wondering what's going on.
I keep getting stopped, and we go to gas stations, and I drive a bus, and they're like, "What is your bus?" And I'm like, "Well, this is Jess's Cancer Crushers," so I'm trying to tell them. But it's been eye-opening for everybody and a blessing for me. So
absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think this journey has meant for the different families involved?
I've probably met the richest people in Oregon. I hosted a draft out in Idaho.
Yeah.
Guy's a millionaire, owns 80,000 acres, and
wow.
And I wrote a check for $2,000 to his son, and they were just in tears.
Oh
and
my God!
Obviously, it touched me too, but to see that, it meant so much more than the money. They were just like, "Holy cow, you're doing this, and you're fighting cancer," and I was like, "Yes, but that's." After going and seeing kids suffer, it's what you want to do.
Absolutely. So talk about the other locations you have done this. You're expanding into Michigan.
Correct.
Where have you done this before? How successful has it been in other locations?
So I started in 2023 in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Knew a bunch of people, and they said, hey, let's try it. And I said, okay. So we started there. Then I went to New Orleans. Then I went to Idaho and Boise. And then we decided to add Pensacola, Florida. And so now we're in year 3. And we're getting ready to do our 4th time in Wisconsin this year after Michigan. So I usually choose weekends where there's an extra day for free travel, such as Memorial Day and Labor Day. And I have a bunch of veterans that play in these as well because, kids are where it's at. Everybody wants to help kids, especially that are battling cancer. So
yeah, well, very cool. Tell us about, kind of the nuts and bolts of all this. Where is this happening at? When? How can we get involved if possible? How does that all work?
So this draft is actually at Ross Park.
Okay.
Just seen it yesterday for the first time. Absolutely beautiful, and I got to watch a bunch of people skiing, so that was pretty cool. I was like, man, that looks cold. But so it's at Ross Park. It starts tonight at 4:30. I do a little speech, talk to all 400 people.
Wow.
And then we start games that start at 5. They play 6-game guarantee. So we have 16 teams that all play 6 games against each other. Sunday is a double elimination.
Okay.
And then they win rings, and we have kids that actually are fighting that I've adopted, that come out, and we present checks. And we have 2 benefactors. One of the benefactors is the MAC Fund out of Wisconsin. And that was started by a player for the Milwaukee Bucks, who I've met, nice guy. And I donated $16,000 last year to the Ronald McDonald House directly.
Oh my gosh. When you look at the impact that you've had, I mean, especially you've got your own battle and journey going on.
Yes.
But you're turning that around and making it an impact for others. I mean, that's amazing. Talk about that and what that means to you.
It really started with a relationship with God. Honestly, I got sick, and when I got diagnosed, I wasn't by myself, but I chose to be by myself. My wife wanted to be by my side, my parents and everybody, but I just had to do it by myself. So I started doing that, ran into some kids along the way, because the gene that I passed on, 2 of my kids have lost their colon, and that's at 15 years old. So it was a huge like milestone to overcome. And just along the way, meeting kids, I was like, I just want to help.
Yeah.
And watching kids realize that here's some money, go do whatever you want. Don't pay bills with it. Not that I don't want them to pay the bills, but I'm just like, do anything you want.
Yeah.
A lot of the kids, I'm a shoe freak. so a lot of these kids see my shoes and they're like, where did you get those? And I'm like, okay, I'll send them to you. So they'll call me in the middle of the night, hey, I don't feel good, but I seen these shoes, and I'm like, okay, they're on the way.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
You'll have the tracking number by the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, you can tell you personally have been through so much. Your family's been through so much. As someone who's experienced this firsthand, like, what is it that these kids need, that these families need?
There's so many things. So I've lost 4 kids since I've started this that have passed. And it's crazy because their parents reach out to me, and it might be 2, 3, 4 in the morning. When you're on chemo, like I am, you're constant. Some people are just go mode, so you just go, and some people are super tired. I happen to not be tired, thank God. But one of the families that lost their child, and that was Owen, their parents reach out and they're like, I'm so glad when you just keep saying his name because you haven't let it die. And that's huge.
Yeah.
But just an understanding that I've went through all this stuff, and I think my mindset was, trying to think exactly how I want to say this. My mindset was, if you're older, you've already lived your life. If you're my age, you've pretty much done a lot of the things that you wanted to do with a kid. They haven't got to do anything that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so if I can give them a chance, if I can give them a couple $1,000, $5,000 to go do whatever it is they want to do, that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, what an important message. I'm curious, if we can't make it out to the tournament, we can't see you guys this weekend, how can we help your organization and your cause here? Is there a donation link that we can go to?
Yes, you can go, it's JessCancerCrushers.com. And there's you can actually buy all the kids' jerseys.
Oh, wow.
You can't buy this one yet because this is
right
only for the family.
Okay.
But you can pull them up and you got all the jersey options. There's also donation links at the bottom. I think it's as little as 50, and I think I did up to 1,000. And then there's all kinds of merchandise. Some of the kids that we have are like 18 months old.
Oh my
that
gosh.
already have and they say terminal cancer. So I started making onesies for the kids and put their handprints on them.
Yeah.
The parents loved them. I love them. And then, like I said, this shirt draws attention. Yeah. I went to get gas at Casey's on the way here. And they were like, I want your address. I want everything. Just send me everything you can. And I was like, okay, well, here it is. And so I had orders last night up until 2:30 in the morning.
Oh my
of just
gosh.
people that I met at a gas station. So
that is wild. Well, Jess, we appreciate your time this morning. We also thank you for sharing your message and your story. I know that's not it's not an easy thing to do. It's very difficult. And we just appreciate all the work that you're putting into this. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on and talking about this.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Alrighty. It is just now 8:54. We're back after this.